Mom's gonna love this.
Yeah, and you know what? She deserves it. She's a great mom. Okay, what are we missing? We got the eggs, the juice, the muffins, got the bacon, cereal, oatmeal.
Dad, nobody likes oatmeal.
Hey, I know we got chocolates for your mom, but there was something else that she wanted for Mother's Day. What was it?
Was it a new Bible? Look how worn out that thing is. Dad, gotta start watching out for these things.
I bet it was a spa day.
Bet it was a new car.
Definitely not a new car.
She's basically my personal Uber driver. We could both use the upgrade.
No. Was it those fuzzy socks?
Dad, you get that for her every holiday. She has like 1,000 of them.
Is it one of those candles that she puts in our bedroom? Hold on. Why does she only put that on my side?
What was it she wanted for Mother's Day? Oh.
Dad, remember what Mom wants for Mother's Day?
What's that, buddy?
The sleeping bin! Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
We clearly owe you brunch after church.
What you owe me is a nap.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Moms out there, thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel today. Honestly, right, Joey? Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Did you text your mom today already?
I did.
Wow,
I did.
So did I.
Surprisingly.
Come on.
Like,
yeah,
I forget a lot of times.
Yeah, you and I are very similar in that. Like, our moms gotta love us especially extra because we love them. We're just a little absent-minded when it comes to those things.
Right.
So, to my mom, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Joey, look right in the camera and give it to your mom. Right
Mom, if you're watching, happy Mother's Day. I love you. You're the best.
See, we get something special because we get to look into cameras and reach out and connect. So to all the moms out there, thank you for loving on the next generation. And I hope you're going to smile today. We got a couple other videos today just to put a smile on you today. Today we're kicking off a new thought, a new concept, talking about hope. We want to instill hope into moms that, hey, those days where everything seems to be going wrong, there's still hope that there's another day. There is still good in the world, and there's good in your child. And so we're going to spend some time today talking about those things. And so we're excited about that. Lily is en route to Arkansas. We have a mission trip that this church is going on this weekend, or I guess I should say this entire week. We'll be down in Arkansas doing whatever the locals need us to do down there, and then at a one-wheel race called Dirt Surfers by the end of the week. So how do you feel more hopeful in a desperate world is the hopes to answer those questions stuff. I know that Dan and Jen Woodhand, I think they're en route as well, stopped in some location. Maybe they've already said that in the chat, not sure. We do have the one and only Dwayne down in Mississippi. Dwayne, did you text your mom already this morning and say?
I did not.
Wow, Joey. Joey,
my mom must sleep late.
Joey fist pounded again.
Fist pounded.
Yeah, come on, baby. Oh yeah,
beat Dwayne to it.
Yeah,
that's something. That's something.
Wow,
man.
Wow, didn't see that coming.
No, that normally doesn't happen.
No, I hope my mom's tuning in to hear that. Like, oh, wow, my son wished me happy Mother's Day already, and Dwayne, the wise one, didn't. Woo! I mean, seriously. Wherever the day goes from here, I don't know.
It's something to celebrate about.
Yeah, it's to be celebrated. But that's the highlight of the day, I'm sure. There's no way you can get higher than that. So thank you, Dwayne. But wait, you were saying...
I'm always here for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making us look good. Hold on. You said your mom went to bed late, or you... What was this story there?
She likes to sleep late.
Oh, okay. So you're loving on your mom by not texting her.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, that's so great. That's so wonderful. If Lily was here, she was with her mom this morning. I believe so. It'd be interesting if she woke up this morning and wished her mom Happy Mother's Day. Here's one interesting thing, as we are all fathers now in the studio. It is interesting when you're a dad how you become responsible for two Mother's Day all of a sudden. You struggle already with your own mom's Mother's Day, and now somehow you've inherited Mother's Day 2.0 for your wife, who is a mom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. It was funny kind of this morning, though. It did take me like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before I said Happy Mother's Day.
To Michaela?
To Michaela.
Oh, my goodness. I feel you. I did the same thing.
I woke up and I'm just like going about my morning and I'm like, Happy Mother's Day, babe.
Hold on. It's worse if the kids said Happy Mother's Day before you
yeah.
did. Did they?
No, they did not.
Okay, that's okay then. That's okay. You started it, but a little late. I did the same thing this morning. How about you, Dwayne? Did you wake up and say to your fine wife, Elizabeth, Happy Mother's Day? Wow! Fist pounded again. We are on a roll, Joey. Yeah, baby.
She was asleep still. So again, going that
They all like their
they
sleep.
like to sleep. They do.
He's letting her sleep.
Yeah.
This was like a first. This Mother's Day, Michaela woke up before I did, and she was like getting dressed and getting ready for the day. I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, big day, though. What's happening in Joey's world, though, in the next 24 hours? That's kind of a big deal. So tell everybody what's happening. So, 1, that you guys know. 2, you can pray. 3, this is how his life is on this fine Mother's Day.
Michaela is pregnant, and tomorrow she is being induced with our 3rd child. So we should be having a baby most likely tomorrow.
Tomorrow, everybody. And you don't know if it's a boy or girl, right?
Don't know if it's a
all
boy
a
or
surprise.
girl. All a surprise.
And you have names reserved. No one knows those names, right?
Yeah. Some people do. We didn't really keep it as much of a secret. I don't know if I'm going to say it because I don't.
Don't say it, because I was under the impression that it's a secret.
Okay, then I'm not going to say it.
So you're on the high right now. Let's not plummet to the ground that you just put it on social media somehow.
Okay.
Okay, so trouble averted there. Dwayne, thank you so much for coming in today and just being that guy today that makes us feel like heroes. We don't normally get that, so you're a good friend. But again, you inherit, not inherit, it's just part of the job. At what point do you think for Mother's Day for your wife, do you no longer own the responsibility? That's the question right in the chat. Where do you think the dads of children with their wives no longer have to own Mother's Day, or do you think it's built in, baked in the whole time? You're always going to have to do 2 Mother's Days now.
I think it's baked in. I think you own Mother's Day.
You own Mother's Day for both.
Yeah, I don't think it would be right for you to just like not celebrate Mother's Day for your wife.
Interesting. Okay, that's how about Dwayne, the wise man in Mississippi? What's our thoughts here?
I would go with teenagers.
Teenagers, when they're teenagers, I like that. I'm going with Dwayne. I'm going on Dwayne's there. I struggle already with my own.
Yeah.
Joey's got.
Now,
yeah.
this would be an interesting question.
Oh no, he's gonna change it. It's not good.
Be an
Go
interesting
ahead.
question. No. I still stand by mine. Teenagers.
Okay.
Growing up, when did you become responsible for your Mother's Day, not your father?
2 things. 1, I don't remember my dad doing anything for Mother's Day, so I think from the get-go he didn't do anything, and so therefore out of the womb, I was just a gift. So from day 1, I was celebrating Mother's Day. I really hope my mom's watching.
365, right?
Yeah,
Every day was
360.
Mother's Day.
No, that's a fair question. I don't know that answer, to be honest with you. There was no moment that was like, it's my responsibility now. I really am awful at it, to be honest with you. I have forgotten my mom's birthday a handful of times. I have texted my sisters a month earlier thinking it was their birthday, then it was their birthday, and then on their birthday, I missed their birthday.
Oh, I'm so bad at birthdays.
I'm just bad. I'm a bad human. I need a personal secretary to help me. I don't know if anybody else is like that. So, anyways, we'll sort it out. How about breakfast in bed? Let's just talk about that. Is breakfast in bed is that what moms still want? Seeing that video, is that what moms want, breakfast in bed? We should probably take a poll. All the moms in the chat today, would you take breakfast in bed over a personalized card or gift? Breakfast in bed or personalized gift card? What's the... You didn't do breakfast in bed today.
I did not. I've done it before, though.
Oh, have you?
I have.
I've never done that.
It's not often. I think it's been once or twice since we've been married, but it's happened, and she's, she likes the acts of service, so I think she would enjoy breakfast in bed.
I feel like I was a prisoner.
The whole gift thing, like the flowers thing, It's just so like, it's not creative.
True. Unless you made them out of paper.
Unless
and
no,
look
like
real.
yeah, and Michaela was like walking in the Trader Joe's the other day, and she's like, "There's literally hundreds of millions of men just walking in buying flowers."
So she was like, meh.
Well, no, she's just,
Jen Woodham says, hard pass on breakfast in bed. I'm with that. I like it. That would not be enjoyable, like on Father's Day, to have breakfast in bed. No. Like there's in my room.
well, breakfast on the table.
That's fine, but Holly's pretty good at that. She does that about every day.
Yeah.
So that's nothing. How about you, Dwayne? In your house, have you ever served breakfast in bed to Elizabeth?
I have, yeah.
Okay. For like
Just
Mother's
a few
Day or just for laughs and giggles?
I'm not sure.
Whoa,
I'm not sure.
Dwayne! Dwayne's stock is plummeting today. We're trying to find out a lot about Dwayne in these celebrating events. Okay. Have you ever had breakfast in bed, boys? Joey can't remember. So many Kayla, don't ever do it again. Dwayne, look, both these guys are like,
once.
I think maybe. Oh
Maybe
my
once.
goodness. Never ever have I, and nor do I need it or want it. So, and I can remember these things.
Yeah, I don't.
You guys are killing
I
me.
don't remember,
Okay.
but I also don't remember what I. Yeah, I don't remember a lot.
Okay. I do remember this moment with my fine mom. She, we're into one wheels around here, and my mom wanted to ride one. And my sisters, the way my sisters interact with my mom is very different than me on all kinds of levels. They're great sisters, but they do want to bubble wrap my mom a little bit, like protect my mom in not letting her be the child she still is, though she is a little older. But she wanted to ride a one wheel, and I was like, okay, cool. Come to Minnesota, you can ride one wheel. Because there's no way my sisters would let her, Joey or Dwayne, ride a one wheel in Illinois, because they'd be like, no, you could fall, break a hip or whatever. And I was like, hey, I'm not her parent. I've always kind of thought that with my mom and dad. I'm like, I'm not their parent. If they want to do that, fine. How many dumb things have I done with my life in my body because I just can. So my mom wanted to hop on one wheel. Here is video proof of my mom riding a one wheel. I'm not saying my mom's cooler than your mom. I'm just saying
She's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. Now, you gotta just point out a few things here. I am genuinely nervous, okay, because you just know it. If she falls, it's a bad deal. She's wearing slippers, Joey. House slippers.
Woohoo!
That's not the
That is-
attire that you should be wearing.
It's not,
But she's doing it. She's doing what Minnie couldn't do, which is go forward and backwards. She
she
is.
doesn't even look scared.
No, she's an athlete.
Give me a wave.
She's an athlete. Holly is trying to say, "Give me a wave."
Like she's not shaking nearly as
Wow.
much as I thought she would be.
No, if we play along, you're gonna see where my mom like bats my hand away because she's like, "No, I don't want to do this with some kind of help." She's just
slightly
cranking it.
different
So
time era
to all the
and
moms out there, be
activity.
inspired and encouraged to do something fun
That's
today
impressive.
and something
That's
that scares
impressive.
you, no matter how old you are. Get after it. That was about the spot where my mom was
Yeah.
gonna shake
Yeah,
my
she
hand
was
away.
just kinda-
Get off me, son! You're holding me back. And so that is a highlight moment for me. One of my sisters turned 50 years old, and she was a bit concerned to go roller skating. Yet my mom,
Oh my.
well in her years, hopped on a one wheel without a helmet. I kept trying to tell her, you gotta wear a helmet. That was the only requirement. She said, I'm not wearing a helmet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just, she's a flower child. You know what that means, Joey?
No.
How about you, Dwayne? You gotta know. Let's get
Yeah,
stock
absolutely.
rising for Dwayne here. What's a flower child?
It's the 60s.
Yeah,
the
baby.
hippies.
The hippies. My mom tells stories of how because her hair's got a little wave to it, she would take a clothes iron and lay it out on an ironing board to straighten it. Because it's super long, but if she didn't iron it, I think in the 60s they hadn't made curling irons or straighteners yet, Joey. Joey's looking very confused, Dwayne.
Like that actually happened?
Yeah, if my mom, I don't know if I haven't seen my mom's name in there. Oh yeah, she is. My mom, Loon, she says pass on breakfast in bed. I'm just catching that. So my mom would iron it. She'll admit to it. Okay, we've spent a great deal on mom. We got one last video for moms. This one's clever. This one, you got to stay to the end to get it. So to all the moms, one last time, happy Mother's Day. If moms would like a special gift from Unlock Church to you, you can text the phone number that we're going to put on the screen really quick. You can text the screen or the picture, you can text the phone number to the church, and we will mail you a surprise Mother's Day gift. A surprise. Like, I know what it is, but you don't. But you got, if we can we put that phone number up there? There we go. 651, it's right below here. It's 651-276-8797. Text there saying, I want my gift. No, you can be kinder on that. But we're going to do Hi Mom, okay? Hi Mom is a great video. The title of it says it enough, okay? Just wait. Just telling you, stick to the end. The payoff is really, really good. And then we're going to talk about hope. Enjoy this video. This is to all our great moms out there. We'll be right back.
I need you to put your arms out like this. And when I throw the ball, you catch it. You ready? Here we go. Good job. All right. Let's go, team. Come on. Good job. Good job. Go! Go! That's my boy. How's that?
Tight.
That's how it's supposed to be. You want to be the one giving the hit, not taking it. Go!
Welcome back to the National Championship.
Game's back on. Come on, come on.
Facing off against the Hornets.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Did you see that? That's a late hit.
Touchdown, Wildcats! The Wildcats are national champions!
To go out like this in your senior year as a national champion has to be an incredible feeling.
It's unbelievable.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the folks back home?
Actually, there's somebody I want to give a special shout out to. Hi, Mom!
I hope you stuck around to the end there. That is hilarious, and that's the life I live. I feel like around here, I'm the man most of the time, then all of a sudden you realize that the pecking order goes mom number one, rock star, probably Diggs in the, maybe that's even wrong. It goes Holly, mom of the house, to the dog of the house, Wookie, then maybe Diggs. We currently have 2 baby rabbits. Do you know this, Joey? How about Dwayne? Have you heard about this yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, man.
I'm
so
curious how that happened.
Yeah, so our dog, Wookie, got into a burrow of bunnies. And he ate a few of them. And we caught him with one in his mouth and one left. So the one that was in his mouth is alive. It's been 2 weeks now. He's alive. But I think, has a broken back. I'm not a veterinarian, but he can eat well, but he cannot hop well. Like, he goes to hop. It's kind of cute. His back legs work better than the front half, so when he hops, he does a somersault every time.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So sad.
It is sad. But he doesn't squeak. Marnie's gonna go, you should do that. Like my daughters have been around the clock feeding these guys. Kept them alive for 2 weeks, which is impressive. These are wild bunnies kept alive for 2 weeks.
Are they outside?
No, are you kidding? They were brought inside. They have been. Dwayne laughs. Don't even laugh, man. You laugh at me. I'm praying that you get some bunnies. But nonetheless, they around the clock feeding. We don't have obviously the mother's milk, so you had to look up the concoction, the cocktail. And if you want to know what wild bunnies, what cocktail you make, it's the egg yolk of the egg. It's dehydrated milk? Dried milk? Evaporated milk. I don't get that right.
Jeez. That must be
some
expensive.
Kind of corn syrup. And one other thing. Oh, water. You spin it all together, and there you go. You have rabbit's milk, which have been fed to them with, eyedroppers. We got them when they had their eyes weren't even open. They were teeny weeny little guys. You couldn't even really tell what they were. Their ears weren't even standing up. And then you watch over the last 2 weeks. Eyes are open. Ears are standing up. If they don't get fed fast enough, they bite the daughter's hands. It's hilarious.
So you're just trying to help them grow until you can let them loose?
I don't know the plan.
Or your plan
I don't know
is
what the plan is. It feels like that should be the plan, but I don't know if that's the wise thing. Now, ask me this. You know where I'm going this week.
Arkansas.
Yeah. Ask me the next question that comes after that. Dwayne, do you know the question that should be asked?
Where's the rabbits going?
Yep, that's right. They're traveling to Arkansas. Thank you for asking. Because who else is going to take responsibility of these bunnies and feed them as often as they... Oh, no one. So they're traveling to Arkansas.
That's crazy.
To be fed while we're on a mission trip. We're taking wild bunnies. I like that you laughed.
Funny.
Is it? Is it now? Oh, yeah. Hilarious.
Well, just like listening to stories of your family and like these long trips, and then you add 2 baby bunnies to the chaos. Like, there's going to be some great stories.
Oh,
great stories.
Memories. Yeah. And the killer of the siblings of the bunnies is going to be in the same vehicle. What could possibly go wrong at a gas station or a rest stop? Nothing.
One of the kids letting their rabbits out and just...
Yeah, it's gonna be
that's best case. That's a best case scenario. That's not the
that's best case.
The worst. That's not the worst thing that could happen.
Oh man, alive! And then you ask, what I don't know. Some can you really, after this long, they've grown up with Mom Historic and Mom Icon? Can they really release them? Is that the wise thing to do with these bunnies? Will they? Or have I don't even know. I have no idea. The one that
family members.
Yeah, we
family members.
They're permanent family members. Dwayne says. Steven, our tech guy, goes, "You've domesticated them," and so pretty much that's the way he says you're screwed, man. They're yours. That's what he's saying. So you know what we'll be buying when we get back from Arkansas? Big rabbit cage, guys. Big, ginormous. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's just go right into the Hope series. Let's just start kicking it off because I need some hope.
Yes, you do.
I need some hope that these bunnies aren't going to be the death of me. And maybe that's sometimes how everybody feels. Life's just throwing you curveballs and you're like, where's the hope? What can I rely on? Let me give you the world vision of hope. The worldview of hope is things I hope in that are not real. It's more like a mirage, a dream. A dream can be a hopeful dream of an excitement thing that yet is to happen, but could happen, might happen. You have no idea, but you can work towards to make it happen. Divine hope that we tell you to put your hope in, is certain. It's never changing. It's always there and available. But we often trade in certainty for uncertainty. We trade in the perfect hope for imperfect hope. We trade in the chaotic life. We should trade in all the chaotic made-up hope for the real thing, but yet we don't. It's it's not the default hope we rely on and put our trust in. It's the last-ditch effort. We run to the true hope when nothing else works, but so much damage has been done in the journey where I just wish, as a pastor, that people would go straight to the divine hope, the biblical hope. When you read through the Bible and it talks about the church is the hope of the world, Jesus is the hope of the world, and he begins to list all these things that we can put our hope into. It's not a mirage. It's not made up. It is certain. It's unchanging, and it's awesome. That's the big setup to this. So in a world where the number one Googled search for Bible context, Bible scriptures is about fear, that tells me there's a lot of no hope. People are looking for hope, and they're trying to combat their fear. If we understand that the hope that we should be going after and pursuing is perfect hope, how do we do that, though? How do we pursue it? How do we make it applicable? How do we make it where we can remember every day about the hope of the world? How can we not be duped by culture, marketing, and all of the other things to replace the real hope with fake hope? Okay, so that's the hopes today, is, as I used the word hope, is that we would begin to be restored with hope. See, it's like, I hope to get to Arkansas today in one trip. That's uncertain. I'm not saying it. When I use it like that, Joey, when I say I hope to get to Arkansas today, how am I using the word hope there?
Like you're wishing, or you're not wishing, but you're like you said, it's not certain. Like you're hoping you get there. You're hoping you don't. I don't want to even say
run out of gas,
or get in an accident, or have something bad happen where you don't get to Arkansas. Like it's not like 100% guaranteed. So you're hoping, you're wishing, you're wanting to get there, but
yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty.
There's a lot of yeah.
I don't know all the details to it. So we used the word hope, and it's funny you even said it's like a wish. Hope seems like a level up of wishes. I wish upon a star. Or speaking of a star, did anyone see the Northern Lights in Minnesota?
I knew you were gonna ask that.
Why? You didn't see it.
No.
You saw the pictures though, I'm assuming.
I saw the pictures
Oh,
and then
man,
I'm
you
like, wow,
missed it.
that was last night.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't the green stuff. It was pink and purples. It was awesome. I'm assuming didn't make it all the way down to Arkansas or Mississippi, Dwayne.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
No, they did not.
They
the
did,
Northern
seriously,
Northern
yeah.
Lights came all the way down there.
They visited Deep South. Yes.
Wow, they got lost. Did you take any pictures?
We did. It's funny because last night we went outside, or Elizabeth went outside and didn't really see much. But Friday night, like we were sitting, it's about 9:30, and I just saw like pictures come across like social media. So it's like, hey, babe, like let's go outside. She's like, why? I was like, trust me, you'll want to go outside. So we go outside and I start showing her pictures, and she's like, I want to load up all the kids and let's go find a dark spot somewhere. So at 9:30, we loaded up the kids, and they were not happy. Not happy. Marshall's like, I never want to do this again.
That guy, man. Yeah, there's something about kids in nature. They don't get it. I don't know where that switch is.
Brian, we were just riding around in the van. Yeah, we were just riding around in the van.
Yeah, for the quest of something. He's like, but now, could you really see it with your eyes, or did you have to use your phone to see it?
It was a red hue. It was kind of a reddish tint to the sky. And then when you took a picture of it, now there's some people said that they were able to see it, but we just saw the red tint and the green tint last night.
Okay, that's what it was. Is up here you could see it. You could see him moving, but the camera, because the lenses on this proves you how better technology's gotten than even human eyes. The lenses, at least on the newest iPhones, bring in more light than my own eyes. So watching it through there allowed you really to see it, as Dwayne's technology is flipping around. But the lenses are better than our own eyes, so taking pictures and videos with that allowed more light to come in, so you saw it better. I really wanted to see it like I saw it on my phone, because I feel duped a little bit. I feel like it's technology doing it to me, you know what I'm saying? Not my own eyes. But it's still wild. So if everyone hopefully got out to see that. I don't know if it went all the way to Washington State. Marnie will have to tell us. But I wrote this back into the hope conversation. People often say hope is much more powerful than a wish or a dream. When God uses the word hope, he is talking about something certain that we can count on. That's where we're coming. That's the working definition, not even a definition, explanation of hope. It's something you can count on. Funny about that is we don't behave or act like that. We act like when God says you can put your hope in this, we think it's an option or a choice, and it could not work out. But before, listen to me, especially on Mother's Day, because we're talking, moms definitely still instill hope in young people. Moms are phenomenal at saying, you got this. Even if they think that their child doesn't, they're going to instill hope. But moms are instilling hope of uncertainty. No, you can get out there and make that play, but she doesn't really know that. There's some information that makes mom assume that you can. But here's an interesting thing about hope as we're going into the conversation. Because, like, what should I be doing is kind of comes into the hope thing. Like, what's my future look like? Some of the fear that it permeates our culture is the lack of knowing what to do with our lives and the direction we go into and what's the dream in my life. You got to understand this with God. God will call you to a who before a do. So you're after a hope quest and getting out of the fear. The way to trump this and to really target the hope deal is to more focus on a who than a do. And I want it to rhyme and sound like Dr. Seuss, so it's reminding us that, listen, if you don't have a who that breaks your heart, then what you do is probably self-serving. God will call you to a who versus a do. It's like this. I'm going to ask it to Joey. He doesn't know the question's coming. So it could be fun to see. Joey, like who? What? When it comes to who's, what breaks your heart? When it's the people we're talking about, what gets you where, man, I want to do something. I give money to do something about that. My job. What is it, the who's, that break your heart? Or are you still on the quest to figure it out?
You know, I think I'm going to always I think right now, I would say, specifically, I would say kids without father figures.
Okay. Breaks his heart. But then you get that part, and then the next part is, what are you doing after it? What are you doing with what breaks your heart? If you just can identify it, and they're not calling Joey out, I'm speaking to all of us. If we can identify first who is the group that breaks our heart, then what are you doing for them? How are you helping fix that thing? Now, I can look at Joey's life and go, I'll answer the question for Joey, because Joey and Dwayne, one of the things that are very similar to these two, there's no pat on the back from those two. They aren't like, I do this and this. But they both have coached for a long time. They both are involved in the next generation in a large capacity. Joey and Michaela volunteer in student ministry. So they're doing a lot to stand in the gap where dad isn't present. They're present for the next generation. And so you can see it evident in their life. But let's say you're going, you know what breaks my heart? The who that breaks my heart are the sex trafficking people that are being robbed, taken from their home and placed over here. Now, that can move you to sympathy and feeling, okay? There's different. Breaking your heart is like something must be done. Justice needs to enter that equation. Well, what are you doing for that? Before you get that full-on hope of the world stuff inside, it's who are you called to? Who are you trying to make a difference for? Who is it? Like for me, there's a lot of people stuff that break my heart. But when it comes down to what's the thing that really I'm hyper-focused on, people that don't know Jesus. And I know that's an everybody play. That is, every Christian should be there. But it's, for me, a higher level. That's why I do what I do. That's why I challenge people to go on mission trip to Arkansas. Why? Because we're going after who? People that don't know Jesus. Why are we volunteering at a one-wheel event? Because there's people that don't know Jesus. We just want to we want to represent Jesus the best we can in hopes that they would give their life to Jesus. Because if they do, man, Jesus helps us navigate the challenges in life way better. Don't you wish that your coworkers would navigate work-related things like Jesus? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, unless they have an encounter with Jesus, they're not going to do that. So we need to be on a quest to introduce people to Jesus, because we say it like this all the time. Jesus will make your life better and make you better at life. It's awesome. It's baked into a relationship with Jesus. And so introducing Jesus to more people will make the world a better place. So that's what breaks my heart. That's the who. And along the way of pursuing them, God fills me up with hope. Not that the world's falling apart, but no, there's still some good in the world, and it's worth fighting for. Dwayne, how about you? Who's the who for you?
Yeah. So, was that a question? Like you?
Yeah. I'm leaving it. I left it just like that. You know.
Yeah.
Who is it for you?
So, I became a teacher because of the next generation, because, you know, I wanted to pour into the lost, the people that didn't have, that didn't know Jesus, you know, the next generation. So became a teacher. That's what led me to move to Minnesota. That moving back, the who has kind of changed. So growing up, like I was the only one in my family who went to church. So moving back, it's like, you know, I was burdened for my family members that didn't know Jesus. So we moved back, and that's kind of, I'm changing careers now, starting, I guess I have 7 days. Yes, 7 days left.
Wow.
Of my current teaching career, and then I'll be moving on into the family business. So again, it's all about, you know, reaching my family members who don't know Jesus.
What I love about your story, Dwayne, and it only confirms what I'm saying, is that when you're called to a who, the doing of your life should now be filtered through the who you're going after, right? Let's paint it this way. If it's about a career or an education, and that's it, that's the end of you know what happens when you get your education or you get the career? You lose hope. You lose.
You're lost. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now what? I'm lost. And that's what we see in epidemical proportion. I don't know if I made up a word there, but it's a massive amount of people have accomplished good things, but it wasn't a who involved in it. It was self-serving, self-edifying that now they're like, well, now what? And so a lot of times people go back to school to get another level of degree because why? It serves me, not a who. And so we're trying to create the equation where we get it right. The who should be the thing that drives you in what you do. Not I do, and hopefully there's some who's along the way. It's a shift. The other shift is understanding who you are. So, right? Understanding who I am helps me understand who's I'm after. So there's this big concept we just were talking about of the who's we're going after that are outside our immediate family. Now let's go. You got to know who you are before you do and before you're called to another who you are. Who are you? So I look at me currently. I'm a dad. So now who am I ultimately called to? My kids, my wife. In no in particular order, right? It should be wife, and if we're putting in the right order, it should be wife, or it should be spouse, and then kids. It should never be in the reverse order. Spouse, kids. So I know that who I am a husband and a father, so therefore my first who I'm driven to do great for is my wife, Holly, and my 8 kids. And then past that, my big who that I am being pursued my whole life, now what am I doing? I'm taking my family to pursue those who's. That's why all my kids are going on, 2 rabbits and a dog are going on a mission trip. Because why? We're pursuing the who. And I'm going to teach them how to pursue the who's that break their heart in the future. My kids don't break my heart. Those are my responsibility. And there's a big difference. I think maybe that's how we categorize this, boys, is that you have who are the who's that break your heart and who's are the who's of your responsibility. Because my kids are my responsibility. My wife is my responsibility, and I don't say that in some derogatory, demeaning way. No, but I have a responsibility as a husband to treat my wife with love and respect and things of that nature. So if we can categorize it, look at your life. Who are you? Now, some of you're going to be met with the reality of, oh, gosh, I got to do better on the who for my responsibility. And that's okay. That's Jesus talking to you. Jesus comes along, taps us on the shoulder, maybe makes us feel like we got butterflies in our stomach. Or third, is Scott talking to me? No, that's the Holy Spirit talking to you to make a change. So who are you? Like on Mother's Day, let's talk to moms. You are the pinnacle of restoring hope in your kid's life. That, especially in our house, man, mom is the hope filler. She doesn't replace Jesus in any aspect, but we're out there playing football, and I'm telling the boys, let's go. Stop sucking wind. You can breathe later. Let's go make the play. She's like, man, you guys are doing so great. You're some of the best athletes I've ever seen in my entire life. Wow, you're blowing away, right? Restoring hope. Mom knows that role in the house. So before we can really ultimately get after the big things and is asking who breaks your heart? Who's the who before the do? Who's the and maybe it's who are the people you're fighting for? Let's word it a different way. Who are the people you're fighting for? Right? These are good. The best way to restore your hope is to fight for others. When we fight for ourselves, we get lost. Why is this so hard, Joey? Why is this so hard to wake up every day and fight for others?
Well, I think the first thing is I think you already said it kind of. I think we're self-centered and we get caught in the trap of life and of career and of of doing things to make our life better, and we get an education or we get a career and we kind of feel stuck in that career because we're trying to chase retirement or whatever. And so I think we get lost in our focus of what breaks our heart and who are we chasing after. I think sometimes sadly becomes a secondary thing in people's, and we kind of forget about like who are we fighting for. So I think it's hard because I think we just we get get caught in the trap of this world and of I think you said it, and I think I'm just kind of reiterating kind of our tendency to just go after things and kind of that are self-serving and are going to help us, and we kind of forget about the who.
I think as well we get discouraged. I think on top of that, it's hard. It's hard to fight for some people. I've never been a mom. Just a news break flash there for you. But I being a dad, I get it. And you wake up and you pour your kids with not much gratitude. They just want more and more and more, right? There's never, I've got enough. Oh, Dad, thanks. I don't need the latest trend. I'm good, right? They just want more and more and more, and that's human nature, and so you can be discouraged in it. You can be discouraged serving your spouse because they say something that hurts you, and so you're discouraged, and you're like, wait, Scott, I thought you told me if I knew my who's I'm supposed to be going after, I would find hope. Yes. But you're also going to be met with discouragement along the way, and if you don't know how to find the hope again that's sustaining forever, well, then you got an issue. Then you're going to run into problems. So we're going to jump into what author Paul says, who writes a lot of the New Testament. He found Jesus after Jesus died, rose again, and went to heaven. I like that idea about this author Paul, who his encounter with Jesus is very different, just like everybody else's, but Jesus had already died, rose again, and went to heaven. It wasn't like he saw Jesus with his own eyes. He had an encounter with Jesus, and in that encounter, Jesus changed Paul's life, who was killing Christians, and then after his encounter with Jesus, does an entire change in his lifestyle, and now is trying to create Christians instead of kill them. I think that's always worth noting about author Paul. So when we read a lot of his wisdom, he found Jesus similarly to you and I, this side of the cross and resurrection in the grave. And this is what he writes in Romans chapter 15. Romans chapter 15, verse 4, it says, "For whatever was written in former days was written for our instruction." Now, he's talking about the other books of the Bible here. He's trying to wrap all this up to a church that meets in the Roman Empire. And he was traveling around in those days on missions trips, traveling around, stopping in locations. As then more and more people found Jesus, that he would just gather them together and say, hey, listen, this is the group of Christians. This is the assembly. This is what we now today use the word church as. Don't forsake to do this. Do this, meet together, encourage each other. And then he's trying to teach them through letters. So he says, for whatever was written in former days was written for our instructions. Instructions for what? How to live life, how to treat other people, how to be kind, how to be generous, how to be more selfless. That through endurance and through the encouragement of scriptures, we might have hope. That we might have hope. Like there it is, it's written right there. We have the instructions now, and remember, when hope is wrote, Joey and Dwayne, in this context, this is not a mystical thing I'm trying to grab onto, and maybe I wish upon a star it'll happen. This is certainty, and we'll have certainty. So what do we learn here? We need to read. Why do pastors and people that are older Christians refer to, hey, read the Bible? Because we understand when we read the instructions and we stay at it long enough, like there's an important part there, this endurance part, and through the encouragement of scriptures, we might have hope. What happens when we read the Bible and we stay at it? You'll find hope, folks. It's a pick-me-up. It's better than a cup of coffee. It's better than Red Bull. It's better than any energy drink you can believe in or hope for. This is certain that if you read the books in the Bible daily, and you endure, like endurance means you get after every day and you're disciplined, you're going to find hope. Yet, we don't make time to read the Bible at all. But here we go. Step 1 in the hope series. How do you get hope? This isn't something I wish upon a star and I just wish harder. It starts by reading the Bible, folks. Mom, you need to pick me up. It's been a hard day raising your kids. You got a teenager and she's talking back to you, or she won't talk to you, or he won't talk to you, or they came home last night and you smelled some on their breath and you're really disappointed and discouraged and you're going, how did I raise a child like this? Listen, there is nothing other than going to the Bible and reading it to restore your hope long term. Yeah, there's quick hits, quick fixes. I mean, people do this all the time. A lot of quick fixes for hope, and this is true. When you look up what are some ways psychologists are telling people to do this is crazy, Joey. Psychologists, you'll meet with a counselor or whatever, and you're discussing, I just am discouraged and stuff, and they will suggest, set a budget now, Joey, and go shopping. It'll make you feel better. Okay. Or they'll go, and what is something you really like to do? I really like, go watch a movie. That'll help. Yes, it helps for a moment, but it's just a quick fix. It'll wear off. The hope that Paul is writing in Romans chapter 15, verse 4, the hope he's talking about will produce hope. Now, Dwayne, I think people are going to push back on this. Is like, well, how do I know? How do I know I get hope? How do you recognize, this is going to be a tough one, Dwayne, but how would you recognize the hope meter increasing your life from reading scriptures? As you've been a follower of Jesus for quite a bit of time, when you read scriptures, can you explain that process when you pick it up and you're like, it just fills you up, but can you explain that so it doesn't seem so out there, so mystical in a sense?
Sure. So, and I guess going back to it, let's clear, like I think I have something for hope to kind of help other than, so you mentioned earlier that you hope to get to Arkansas without having to stop, right? So
Yes.
it's kind of that wishing, and it's out of your control. You don't really have any control over it. But at the same time, what's driving you there, what you are putting your hope in really is when you get into the moose, when you turn that key, that it turns on, that it cranks. Like you're putting your hope in the moose. And like over time, the moose has been a great vehicle for you guys. And it's reliable, but at the same time, like your hope is in that. And eventually the moose is going to, like, it's not a good thing to put hope in.
Right.
And eventually it's going to pass away. It's going to wither. It's temporary. So I think with us as Christians, when we put our hope is in that, our hope is really in Christ, and our hope is the people, that the stories, and it's the people that's gone before us, that, hey, you know what, when people have obeyed God, when people have put their hope in Christ, when they've been obedient and they've stepped out in faith, that God has taken care of them, that everything is worked out according to what God has done. So when you lose that hope, when you lose focus of, okay, hey, this is what God's done for me in the past. This is what God's done for Christians in the past. This is what God's done for the people he loves in the past. Then we put our hopes on the things that we do, and we're going to fail, and we're going to get distracted, and we're going to get discouraged, when in actuality, like, you know what, when the only perfect hope, the person that we should be putting our hope in, the thing that we're putting our hope in, is God, and is like he's always shown up. He's never been caught asleep. He's never been, out of gas or whatever. Like it's there. So that kind of helps my mind get around.
Yeah.
Move beyond the wishes and the genie, and like that's where my hope comes from. It's like, no, honestly, like my hope is like right now I'm sitting in a chair. Like I'm putting all of my weight in this chair, and my hope is that it's going to hold me up. So
Yeah, that's good. It's interesting when you say the temporary things we put our hope in. It's hard to sit here in the comfort of this studio to go, well, what do I, besides Jesus, putting my hope in? But when it's taken away, or it breaks down, or it doesn't work, or you lose it, your reaction to the loss or the breakdown will be the indicator of how much hope you put in it. I just think that's worth mentioning, because I think for us, I don't put my hope into anything other than Jesus, but wait till that, if your hope's into your car and you go out there and it doesn't start and you lose it, you get angry and you just lose control of yourself, your emotions. That's a great indicator that there is an inappropriate amount of hope put into that object. That's the thing. Because when we put all of our hope into Jesus, he already did what he said he was going to do. He died on a cross, rose again, and is gone to heaven. That's been done. It's happened. So our hope is in that. That what he said after that is going to happen and take place. So our hope is in that. It doesn't move. So we don't have to worry about being duped on that. We don't have to worry about a reaction to that other than a reaction of gratefulness and praise. So as we continue the Journey on Hope series over the next few weeks, we want you to always remember today's topic, that it's a who before a do. It starts with who you are, and then who you are to other people, and then who is the group of people that break your heart before you do your dues. Now, we got a great story in 1 Samuel chapter 1. It's a long story. I'm going to tell it. I might jump into the verses here and there. But this story is about a woman named Hannah. She was married to a man that had another wife, and that woman had a couple children. Hannah had no kids. 1 Samuel takes place way, way before Jesus. This is 1 Samuel chapter 1 is before even David was born, okay? King David had not been born yet, so this is way back in the day. And in those time periods, if you don't know this, women were defined by how awesome they were, by how many children they had. If you had no children, something was wrong with you. You were being cursed. You just weren't. It was actually a reason that you could leave a woman in those days and age. Not saying that's appropriate or okay. Just trying to paint the picture of the scenario. Hannah has no kids, married, and the man's married to another woman who has lots of kids. When you read 1 Samuel chapter 1, the woman that had lots of kids would make fun of Hannah who had no kids. Like, could you imagine this scenario? Like, what kind of evil person would just do that? Poke fun at somebody else that, oh, you can't have kids. And for those that are out there, you're wanting to be, you have a desire to be mom, and that's just not happening for you. Maybe today this hope talk is good for you. That, man, God's not done with you. I'm not speaking into your life that you're going to be pregnant in the next couple of days. I have no knowledge on that. But I do know that you can put your hope in Jesus, and you have somebody to walk you through this. Doesn't make it easier to have to deal with the emotions of it, but it's the hope that God's still up to something. He has a plan, and it's unfolding day by day, and that if you find yourself discouraged, that's okay. Turn to the scriptures and read them. And if you need some help on what scriptures to read for those, there's so many topical hope series or journeys you can have through the Bible, that it would be hard to begin that journey for everybody, because everybody's journey is different. If you're struggling with mental illnesses, there's so many scriptures that would give you hope and encouragement. Those that have lost someone close to them, there's a journey for hope throughout the scriptures. You can text that number that we put on the screen. Hey, I need a scripture journey of hope on the loss of my mom or a child, and we would love to walk you through that. But to break all that down here, we would miss some of you in it, but you got to understand the whole point of having this conversation about hope is to restore hope in a generation that's losing it. And again, if you're one of those women out there and you don't understand why it's so hard for you to get pregnant, maybe you've done the shots and it didn't work, or sorry. Maybe you're here today and it's your first Mother's Day without your mom. We're sorry to hear that. Don't lose hope. That's what we're trying to instill today. Hope is certainty when it's inside the biblical concept. And so let's continue in the story in 1 Samuel chapter 1. Hannah being bullied by another woman. We're going to pick up at verse 3 here. Every year this is from the Message translation. Every year this man went from his hometown up to Shiloh to worship and offer a sacrifice to God of the angel armies. Eli and his 2 sons served as priests of God. Okay, so you're catching this, right? Every year, so he's a godly man. He would travel because that's what you did. Once a year, there was this big sacrifice you gave, and he traveled every year to go do that, okay? And so he takes his wives, and their children with him. Hannah loses it. She loses her cool at some point because she's her rival. It says this here, but her rival wife taunted her cruelly, or his rival wife taunted her cruelly, rubbing in and never letting her forget that God had not given her a child. This went on year after year. Every time she went to the sanctuary of God, she could expect to be taunted. Hannah was reduced to tears and had no appetite. So she's physically showing that she's distressed. Her husband says, "Oh, Hannah, why are you crying? Why aren't you eating? And why are you so upset? Am I not more worth to you than 10 sons?" This guy going, "Honey, aren't you just happy with just me?" I mean, if I was there, I might have smacked him myself, because that's just like, it's okay to think that if you want, but don't say that, especially in the moment when she's crying. So Hannah ate. She pulled herself together, slipped away quietly, and entered the sanctuary. The priest Eli was on duty at the entrance of God's temple. Crushed in soul, Hannah prayed to God and cried and cried. Inconsolably, she made a vow. Listen to her vow. This is what we're trying to say. When you feel lost and lack of hope, she's doing what we read from Romans, right? Don't forget to read the Bible. Through endurance, remember what you've read, and you will find hope. So, here's what she says. She's losing her cool, right? She's crying, rightfully so. "Oh God of the angel armies, if you'll take a hard look at my pain, if you'll quit neglecting me and go into action for me by giving me a son, I'll give him completely to you. I'll set him apart for a life of holy discipline." This is like kind of making a deal with God, I suppose, right? Doesn't it sound like that?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people do that, like on planes. You get a little bumpy in the airplane. You're like, "Oh, God, if you just get this plane landed, I'll go to church regularly." I mean, on Easter and Christmas. That's what I mean regularly, right? We make these deals. We rarely hold up with God, but we're trying to, let's make a deal with God. And so she's making a deal with God. It's a little bit different because she's asking for something more than just a crisis mode, like, the airplane scenario that just came out of the blue for us. But this is getting her for a long time. She's saying, "If you do give me a son, I'll give him back to you to serve." It so happened that she continued in prayer before God. Eli, remember, he's the priest on duty, watching her closely. Hannah was praying in her heart silently. Her lips moved, but no sound was heard. Eli jumped to conclusion that she was drunk. He approached her and said, "You're drunk. How long do you plan to keep this up? Sober up, woman." This guy, man, totally misses it. Woman is having a heart-to-heart with Jesus. She's passionately praying for a son. She's tired of being poked and made fun of and taunted by this other woman. And she just having one with Jesus. And this priest guy comes in and says, "You drunkard, what are you doing in church?" That would be equivalent of me coming to you. And you're praying in church, or you're letting loose in worship, and I come to you. "What are you doing? Sober up before you come to church," right? And you're like, "I'm not drunk at all. Actually, I haven't drank in years. I'm just praying for this situation." I'd feel like a moron. Hannah said, Oh, no, sir. Please. I'm a woman, hard used. I've been I haven't been drinking, not a drop of wine or beer. The only thing I've been poured out is my heart, pouring it out to God. Don't for a minute think I'm a bad woman. It's because I am so desperately unhappy, in such pain, that I've stayed here so long. Sounds like a woman that's trying to have her hope restored. That's what I'm just trying to point out here. This is the illustration to what we've been trying to say all day. You need your hope restored. Stop going to all the other places in the world and our culture says. Stop drinking. Stop medicating yourself. Stop shopping. Stop eating food. Like, eat and drink, like, to stay alive, water and a nice amount of food, but not to soothe and try to restore hope. And if you go and pick up the Bible and you're like, that didn't really work for me, what did Paul say with endurance? Dwayne, you and Joey now, you guys are a bit of endurance athletes. Joey reluctantly. But nonetheless, he's got a marathon he's running again.
Yeah.
Dwayne, all into it. What is it? When endurance is being read here, or even wrote by Paul, what's he trying to say, Dwayne, Mr. Endurance? What's he trying to teach here? What does it mean to have endurance?
Just don't give up. Keep going.
So to have endurance, it's not go out there and run 1 mile and go, ooh, wow, that was my legs are tired. That's it. That's good. I'm good for a while. That's not endurance, right?
No.
I like the face. If you're just listening to this, Dwayne gave a face like, no, that's not endurance. Endurance is to keep going and going. It's the Energizer Bunny. Keep going and going and going and going and going and going. When it gets hard, keep going and going. Dwayne, have you ever been in a marathon where you're like, yeah, that's it. I'm quitting. I'm out.
No.
No?
Like, maybe mentally, yes.
Yes,
but,
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
The feet kept going, yeah.
Right, for
Yeah,
sure.
the feet
You
kept
you
going.
finished it. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think every endurance race, doesn't matter how well I trained for it, there were moments where it's like, I'm out. I've done enough. Why am I doing this? Especially when I'm undertrained. Woo! When I roll into a marathon and all of a sudden I find myself walking a little bit more than I thought I would, or it's extra hot. The Chicago Marathon, I believe it's the only marathon that Chicago ever canceled mid-race. It was my second race, and I just thought I could show up on pure talent and be okay because my first one went fine. I was like, I got this. And I showed up way undertrained, and then it was 90-some degrees, downtown Chicago. No escape from the sun. They ran out of water by mile 9. My tongue swelled up. I was so dehydrated. And I wanted to call it quits. The fire department came out and opened up the fire hydrants and had them spraying over those who were running because it was just brutal. And I wanted to quit. I'm walking at one point, and I'm just like, this is dumb. I've already done a marathon, so what's the point of doing this? And it was a very, very long conversation with myself going, oh, wait, no. This is where the real test is. This is where you find out who you really are. So when Paul says with endurance, he's saying, listen, you hit reading the Bible once and it didn't work out for you. That's not endurance. Twice, still not endurance. Endurance is don't quit. Endurance is doing it because you know it's good for you. Staying at finishing what you start. So you're like, I'm trying to read the Bible and get nothing out of it. You got to ask for some help. Where should I be reading? If you're going through something and you're going to start in Genesis 1:1, that's good history stuff, and I like Genesis, but it's probably going to be really hard. You can do it. You can find some hope. You get to the portion where the flood happens and then God shows up. That's pretty inspiring stuff. But there are like Jesus words that you could read that be like, boom. Like, and you really want to have your hope restored, man, read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Get a Bible that has red letters, and so you know it's Jesus talking, and go, ooh, what's he got to say? And you'll begin to find hope. It's with endurance. It's what we're seeing with Hannah here. She didn't just come in and say, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. What a scary prayer. My mom used to have me pray that, and then one day I realized that's a scary prayer. Because now I lay me down to sleep. Do you know this prayer, Joey?
Somewhat from you.
From me, right?
From you just saying it like.
Yeah. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. But if I shut out before I wake, something about He takes my soul, and it's like, what? That's a scary thought for a little guy. We just talked about what if I don't wake up? I'm not falling asleep at all. Maybe parents, we gotta have a different prayer. I don't know.
But I think you touched on it. Like, it can't be just religious. It can't be just
that's
things
fair.
that you've already done. It's got to be like that relationship. It's got to be that, like,
Good
we
point,
serve a
Dwayne.
living God. We serve a living God. So, if we're just doing things just to do them, then we're missing it.
Yeah, I think that's what you're seeing with Hannah, right? To your point. Hannah's not praying to, I hope someone's there. She's praying in an emotional way because she knows he is there, that God is listening. And so Eli probably has to, like, I'm totally sorry, to Hannah. And then he answers in verse 17. Remember, this is from the Message in 1 Samuel chapter 1. Eli answered her, "Go in peace, and may God of Israel give you what you've asked of him." Now, he's clarifying when he says God of Israel, that this isn't a Greek God. This isn't another religion God. This is the one true God. And he says, "May the God of Israel give you what you have asked for." He didn't say it's going to be done. He didn't say anything. He just said, "May God show up and show off." "Think well of me and pray for me," she said, and went away. Then she ate heartily, and her face radiant. This is a result of getting alone with God. Her face was radiant. She had an appetite. Why? Her hope has been restored. She has yet at this point got what she asked for. She doesn't know she's praying, nothing, right? It's just she was with God and she got peace and hope. Up before dawn, they worshiped God and returned home. Her husband slept with Hannah, his wife, and God began making the necessary arrangements in response to what she had asked. I find that very interesting. And God made necessary arrangements. That's science stuff, guys. I don't need to break it down because this is not a health class, but I think you got it. So she gets pregnant. But the radiant face and the appetite didn't come on the other side if she got what she wanted. That's what happens when we substitute fake hope with real hope. When we use the fake hope, we get happy and radiant for a short amount of time after we get the new pair of pants, or we eat something awesome, or we go see a movie. But it's short-lived. We got to keep doing it and doing it. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 28 says this: "The hope of the righteous brings joy, but the expectation of the wicked will perish." I love how Proverbs, they always are wrote in twos, right? It's like a bit of the opposite. The hope of the righteous bring joy. It's not that if the righteous says, "I hope I get to Kansas or Arkansas tonight." That's not the hope is when we're talking about Jesus. But the expectation of the wicked will perish. Meaning the expectations and the fake hope that someone that doesn't know Jesus is trying to speak into somebody like, "Oh, you're awesome. You're so good," like these. And it's fine for the compliments, but that just is fleeting. It goes away, evaporates. Psalms 31:24 says this: "Be strong and let your heart take courage, all who wait for the Lord." I mean, I hope you find some kind of encouragement on "be strong and let your heart take courage." All of you who wait on the Lord. Where is the psalmist saying? You wait on the Lord, and when you do that, you're going to have your courage increase. I love this one as well in Psalms. We're just trying to run through some scriptures that can restore hope for you. Especially on Mother's Day, moms can examine, was I a great mom, bad? Stop doing that. Be present to the who's you've been called to. Psalms 43:5. "Why are you downcast, O my soul? Why are you in turmoil within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him, my salvation and my God." Hope in God. Like, this is like truth. It's a confidence that God is going to do what God set out to do, that God is sovereign. That's my hope. Psalms 37:3. "Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and Befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. I want to make sure we pause there. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. When we hang with God, when we spend time reading the Bible, and we're in tune to what God, you know what? Your desires become his desires. You're, baby followers of Jesus. Oh, I want money. But then you start growing up in your relationship with God, and you're all of a sudden money in the priority. You're like, no, I want my friend to find Jesus. No, I need the person that's experiencing loss to be comforted. Guess what? Those are the things that line up with God. The more we spend time with God, the more we dwell in the presence of God, the more our desires become his desires. It's not when we get it messed up, because in human aspects, the more someone hangs with you, they can rub off on you. So it's not the more I hang out with God and now I convince him to give me what I want. No, it's the more we hang with him, the more our desires become his desires. And when your desire doesn't match his desire, guess what? He just waits. He just waits for your desire to change. The psalmist in chapter 37 continues, commit your ways to the Lord. Trust in him and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light and your justice as the noonday. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his ways, over the man who carries out evil devices. Now, at the end of the day, they're trying to say, hey, when you look over there and you see somebody that's not following Jesus succeeding, don't get duped. You don't know what's going on inside their heart. We do that all the time. We compare what everybody has. Look at the house they live in. Look at the car there. Look at how much stuff they have. But you don't know their heart. Stay fixed your attention on Jesus. And we wrap up with this, 2 Corinthians 4:16. So we do not lose heart, though our outer self is wasting away. Our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light monetary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transcendent, but the things that are unseen are eternal. That's our camp theme this year for kids camp. Keeping our eyes fixed on the things unseen. That's how we restore hope. That's how we find hope again, is keeping our eyes fixed on those things. But the new shiny thing always draws our attention. And as soon as we fix our eyes on those things seen, our hope begins to diminish. That's an interesting thing about a relationship with Jesus. I can read my Bible today, and I feel like, not that I'm saved. I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm going to heaven. Like, that's already done. But I find that when I don't spend a great deal of time reading my Bible and praying, I feel like it's a little bit of a helium balloon with a teeny little hole in it. It's just like leaking just a tiny bit. Because I'm bombarded with culture. I'm bombarded with other people's thinkings that are not Christ-like. And I just feel like as that keeps coming in, now my salvation is leaking, but my hope is leaking. And I need to constantly not lose heart. And I need to be renewed, as Paul says, be renewed day by day. How? Keep your eyes fixed on the things unseen. He's speaking to this. That, me reading my Bible yesterday is good for yesterday. That's why it's so good to read either in the morning or the night. Lunchtime, there's no bad time to read it. But we're trying to fill up. We're trying to fill up our hope. So may we fix our eyes on the things unseen, not the things seen. That's the hopes today. Our hopes is to restore hope. Next week, we're going to talk about, next week, got a special one actually here because we will be in Arkansas. We've already pre-recorded it. We're excited to bring to you a conversation that I once did while riding my bicycle with 3 other guys talking about, you just have to see how that ties in. But I preach while riding a bike. You'll enjoy it next week. Holly and Lily set it up, so you're going to get them in studio next week, so don't miss that. Let me pray, and then we'll move right along. Jesus, we thank you for this beautiful day in Minnesota. Thank you for the northern lights that were on display, what seems like everywhere in America, that we could see your power and your glory. And may it just remind people that, man, you are wonderful, that you're powerful, you're creative, you're unique. May we turn our attention to you as Christ followers. May we put our hope in you. For those maybe that have tuned in today and they're like, no, I need hope and I didn't know it's supposed to be put in Jesus. May they make a move in their life going, I'm going to put my hope in Jesus. I'm going to believe in Jesus, that he did what he said he was going to do, die on a cross and rise again and ask forgiveness. May they begin to do those things. And may we begin to read our Bibles more than we did last week. When we pick up that thing and read it. May you speak so loudly to us that we would be encouraged. For the moms that are watching today, may you encourage them today. May they be filled up today. May they know they did good with raising their kids, or they're doing good, whatever stage they're in. May the enemy not whisper negativities. May they be restored in their hope, Jesus. And those of us that are like, who's the who? What group of people break our heart? May we see that clearly and start going after helping them. Jesus, we love you in your name. Amen. Mr. Dwayne, we'll see you in a few days. But before we see you in a few days, we make it really simple here at Unlock Church for people to give their tithes and offerings. Before you tell them how to do that, tithes and offerings is this, everybody. This is you have an income, whatever that amount is, 10%. If you're a follower of Jesus, goes back to Jesus. Now, this is not part of your salvation. Giving money is not, you get more saved. I recently, with Dave Ramsey, he was bringing this up, and I was like, man, that's true. And a lot of things pastors kind of twist to make it seem like it's part of salvation. Reading the Bible does not make you more saved. It makes you better. It definitely makes you better. Being a person that gives part of your tithes and offering doesn't make you more saved. But what it does is it's exercising a discipline in your life that God's trying to say, no, I want you, a follower of Jesus is generous. And so he asks for a portion of that to come back. These are also indicators of where your heart is. Do I trust? Not a salvation thing. This is Jesus trying to say, this is really good for you if you would do this. You will see good things if you give generously. And so maybe you've always been on the fence or you're not giving 10%. Today would be a day to start doing that. Not because we need it. That's not why. It's because we teach the whole Bible here. And we do try to make it easy for you guys to give your tithes and offerings. So Dwayne, how easy do we make it around here?
Yeah, I'm going to throw in something else before I get into that.
Hit it.
It's a practical step. Like, where are you putting where's your hope at? If our hope is in our money and the things that we
that's
do,
good.
Then it's like we want to keep all of our money. But I'm putting my hope in Christ, and I'm being obedient to that. So I'm showing that my hope is in Christ by that. But we make it really easy to give. You can text the word unlock to 77977, or you can go on to unlockchurch.com/give, and it'll walk you through that.
Yeah, that's so good. Good point even at the beginning. Way to tie that in, Dwayne. I like that. Well, we've got to let you go so you can go and do your Mother's Day things. You gotta call Mom. You gotta go tell Elizabeth. You don't have to with Elizabeth, but you got some. To catch up with Joey and I. You got some work to do, Dwayne.
Yeah. I don't have to make a drive, so I can do that while y'all are driving.
Yes, right. See, that's correct. Well, we are thankful, Dwayne. Every week you make time to be with us. Sundays are so much fun to have you around. And thank you for your wise words of wisdom. And thanks today for making Joey and I look just a little bit better for our moms.
Hey, anything you need, I'm here for you guys.
I know, it's true. It is so true. And we'll see you this week. I have your one wheel in hand, so Dwayne will be riding a one wheel by the end of the week. He'll have one. I don't know if he'll be riding it, but he should.
He'll be riding it.
He'll be riding it.
I'll be riding it. Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
baby, that's right. I tried to tell him, everybody, he should sign up for the beginner's class. He said no go.
He'll be talked into it.
No go.
It's only like two.
Next year.
It's like two.
This year.
Yeah, seize the day. Seize the day. Okay. I got it. That's it. I'll save the rest of it for in person. Have a wonderful day, Dwayne. Look at this. We're giving Dwayne a long goodbye, not just like, oh, Dwayne, goodbye.
Yeah.
We're like proper send-off today. Lily would be really either proud or not. I don't know. So thank you, Dwayne. Have a lovely day. Joey, we'll be praying for you and Michaela as hopefully in 24 hours or so you'll be holding a little one.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate all the prayers. Appreciate it.
Can't wait to hear boy or girl, name, size, all the details. Exciting. It's going to be great.
It will be.
We'll be praying that Michaela stays calm and collective, and that baby comes out with no surgeries or any of those things. So, everybody that's at home, thanks for being with us. We got a lot of cool things happening here at Unlock Church. Let me buzz through them just as fast as possible for you. I have them wrote down here. Obviously, you've heard us talk about the Arkansas mission trip. It's this week. Pray for those that will be there. Just pray for Unlock Church while we're there. We have Unlock Summer Camp, which is June 24th through the 28th, which is going to be a great week to bring yourself and your family to the camp. It is free. I think we do have that slide as well. It's Unlock Summer Camp, June 24th through the 28th. Then we have High School Middle School Camp, which is the Challenge Camp, July 22nd through the 26th. That costs $175. You got high schoolers, middle schoolers, fly them up here. We'll pick them up at the airport. They'll have a massive, the week will be great for them. We have another Scott Meadow and Friends group ride after church on June 2nd. Joey came and rode last Sunday. That was fun to have you out there, Joey. Was that your first one, second one?
Second one.
Yeah, it was good to have you out there. Yeah. Did you see a couple posts this week? Some people this week were like,
Susie.
Is she the one that said it was so good to even have Joey out there? Hopefully he can make them to all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I echo that. Hopefully you can make it. It's just better with you out there. It just is.
Good.
So that's June 2nd. Make time to come. It's a cookout as well, so bring something to eat. It is right after church service in Champlin, Minnesota. Let's see. We have Maple Grove's Days Parade, which is July 11th. We clean up the parade here in Maple Grove. It's a great way to serve the community. And then we're kicking off small groups, a year-long small groups. So stay tuned to how we will be doing that in this this realm. All right, everybody. We love you. Have a fabulous Sunday. To our moms, happy Mother's Day. If you want that special something, text the church, and we will send you probably in 2 weeks because this week we'll be on mission trip, so it'll be a delayed Mother's Day gift for all of you. Bye, everybody. Adios.
Bye.